Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Bible in a Year. My name is Natalie, and we are on day 134. Welcome to the channel. I am so glad that you are here today, and I hope you're doing great. We're going to be reading out of Numbers chapter 24, Isaiah chapter 21, Matthew chapter 11, and then we'll close out the day with Psalm chapter 81, but only verses 8 through 16 today. So let's get started with Numbers chapter 24. Here we go. When Balaam saw that it pleased Yahweh to bless Israel, he didn't go, as at the other times, to use divination, but he set his face toward the wilderness. Balaam lifted up his eyes, and he saw Israel dwelling according to their tribes, and the Spirit of God came on him. He took up his parable and said, Balaam the son of Beor says, the man whose eyes are open says, he says, who hears the words of God, who sees the visions of the Almighty, falling down and having his eyes open. How goodly are your tents, Jacob, and your dwellings, Israel. As valleys they are spread out as gardens by the riverside, as aloes which Yahweh has planted, as cedar trees beside the waters. Water shall flow from his buckets, his seed shall be in many waters. His king shall be higher than Agag, his kingdom shall be exalted. God brings him out of Egypt. He has, as it were, the strength of the wild ox. He shall consume the nations, his adversaries, shall break their bones in pieces and pierce them with his arrows. He couched, he lay down as a lion, as a lioness. Who shall rouse him up? Everyone who blesses you is blessed. Everyone who curses you is cursed. Balak's anger burned against Balaam, and he struck his hands together. Balak said to Balaam, I called you to curse my enemies, and behold, you have altogether blessed them these 3 times. Therefore, flee to your place now. I thought to promote you to great honor, but behold, Yahweh has kept you back from honor. Balaam said to Balak, Didn't I also tell your messengers whom you sent to me, saying, if Balak would give me his house full of silver and gold, I can't go beyond Yahweh's word, to do either good or bad from my own mind. I will say what Yahweh says. Now behold, I go to my people. Come, I will inform you what this people shall do to your people in the latter days. He took up his parable and said, Balaam, the son of Beor, says, the man whose eyes are open says, he says who hears the words of God, knows the knowledge of the Most High, and who sees the vision of the Almighty, falling down and having his eyes open. I see him, but not now. I see him, but not near. A star will come out of Jacob, a scepter will rise out of Israel, and shall strike together the corners of Moab, and crush all the sons of Sheth. Edom shall be a possession. Seir, his enemy, also shall be a possession, while Israel does valiantly. Out of Jacob shall one have dominion, and shall destroy the remnant from the city. He looked at Amalek, and took up his parable, and said, Amalek was the first of the nations, but his latter end shall come to destruction. He looked at the Kenite, and took up his parable, and said, your dwelling place is strong. Your nest is set in the rock. Nevertheless, Cain shall be wasted, until Ashur carries you away captive. He took up his parable and said, alas, who shall live when God does this? But ships shall come from the coast of Kittim. They shall afflict Ashur, and shall afflict Eber. he also shall come to destruction. Balaam rose up and went and returned to his place, and Balak also went his way. What a piece of history that is. All right, Isaiah chapter 21. Sometimes I just like reading those little hidden pieces. You know, at least I didn't hear about that story much in Sunday school or church or Bible study or anything like that. Sometimes it's kind of neat just to read, you know, just something a little different that went on there. Very powerful. Isaiah chapter 21. The burden of the wilderness of the sea. As whirlwinds in the south sweep through, it comes from the wilderness, from an awesome land. A grievous vision is declared to me. The treacherous man deals treacherously, and the destroyer destroys. Go up, Elam, attack. I have stopped all of Midian's sighing. Therefore, my thighs are filled with anguish. Pains have seized me, like the pains of a woman in labor. I am in so much pain that I can't hear. I am so dismayed that I can't see. My heart flutters. Horror has frightened me. The twilight that I desired has been turned into trembling for me. They prepare the table. They set the watch. They eat. They drink. Rise up, you princes, oil the shield. For the Lord said to me, go set a watchman. Let him declare what he sees. When he sees a troop, horsemen in pairs, a troop of donkeys, a troop of camels, he shall listen diligently with great attentiveness. He cried like a lion, Lord, I stand continually on the watchtower in the daytime, and every night I stay at my post. Behold, here comes a troop of men, in pairs. He answered, fallen, fallen is Babylon, and all the engraved images of her gods are broken to the ground. You are my threshing, and the grain of my floor, that which I have heard from Yahweh of armies, the God of Israel, I have declared to you. The burden of Duma. One calls to me out of Seir, watchman, what of the night? Watchman, what of the night? The watchman said, the morning comes, and also the night. If you will inquire, come back again. The burden on Arabia. You will lodge in the thickets in Arabia, you caravans of Dedanites. They brought water to him who was thirsty. The inhabitants of the land of Tema met the fugitives with their bread, for they fled away from the swords. From the drawn sword, from the bent bow, and from the heat of battle. For the Lord said to me, within a year, as a worker bound by contract would count it, all the glory of Kedar will fall, and the residue of the number of the archers, the mighty men of the children of Kedar, will be few. For Yahweh, the God of Israel, has spoken it. And so it shall be. All right, Matthew chapter 11. When Jesus had finished directing his 12 disciples, he departed from there to teach and preach in their cities. Now when John heard in the prison the works of Christ, he sent 2 of his disciples and said to him, are you he who comes, or should we look for another? Jesus answered them, go and tell John the things which you hear and see. The blind receive their sight, the lame walk, the lepers are cleansed, the deaf hear, the dead are raised up, and the poor have good news preached to them. Blessed is he who finds no occasion for stumbling in me." As these went their way, Jesus began to say to the multitude concerning John, "What did you go out into the wilderness to see? A reed shaken by the wind? But what did you go out there to see? A man in soft clothing? Behold, those who wear soft clothing are in kings' houses. But why did you go out? To see a prophet? Yes, I tell you, and much more than a prophet, for this is he of whom it is written, 'Behold, I send my messenger before your face, who will prepare your way before you.' Most certainly I tell you, among those who are born of women, there has not arisen anyone greater than John the Baptist. Yet he who is least in the kingdom of heaven is greater than he. From the days of John the Baptizer until now, the kingdom of heaven suffers violence, and the violent take it by force. For all the prophets and the law prophesied until John. If you are willing to receive it, this is Elijah, who is to come. He who has ears to hear, let him hear. But to what shall I compare this generation? It is like children sitting in the marketplace who call to their companions and say, 'We played the flute for you, and you didn't dance. We mourned for you, and you didn't lament.' For John came neither eating nor drinking, and they say he has a demon. The Son of Man came eating and drinking, and they say, 'Behold, a gluttonous man and a drunkard, a friend of tax collectors and sinners.' But wisdom is justified by her children." Then he began to denounce the cities in which most of his mighty works had been done, because they didn't repent. "Woe to you, Chorazin! Woe to you, Bethsaida! For if the mighty works had been done in Tyre and Sidon, which were done in you, they would have repented long ago in sackcloth and ashes. But I tell you, it will be more tolerable for you in Tyre and Sidon on the day of judgment than for you. You, Capernaum, who are exalted to heaven, you will go down to Hades. For if the mighty works had been done in Sodom, which were done in you, it would have remained until today. But I tell you that it will be more tolerable for the land of Sodom on the day of judgment than for you." At that time, Jesus answered, "I thank you, Father, Lord of heaven and earth, that you hid these things from the wise and understanding and revealed them to infants. Yes, Father, for so it was well-pleasing in your sight. All things have been delivered to me by my Father. No one knows the Son except the Father. Neither does anyone know the Father except the Son, and he to whom the Son desires to reveal him. Come to me, all you who labor and are heavily burdened, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and humble in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy, and my burden is light." All right, closing out in Psalm 81, 8 through 16. "Hear, my people, and I will testify to you. Israel, if you would listen to me, there shall be no strange god in you, neither shall you worship any foreign god. I am Yahweh, your God, who brought you up out of the land of Egypt. Open your mouth wide, and I will fill it." But my people didn't listen to my voice. Israel desired none of me. So I let them go after their stubbornness of their hearts, that they might walk in their own counsels. Oh, that my people would listen to me, that Israel would walk in my ways. I would soon subdue their enemies and turn my hand against their adversaries. The haters of Yahweh would cringe before them, and their punishment would last forever. But he would have also fed them with the finest of wheat. I will satisfy you with honey out of the rock. Well, everybody, that finishes up today, day 134. Thank you so much for stopping by. I am so glad that you are here. I just enjoy this channel so much. And, I hope that you're able to rest on the words that we read during the day and find encouragement and maybe learn something new that you didn't know before. That would be fun. So please come on back tomorrow for day 135, and I will see you tomorrow. Have a great day, everybody. Bye.